Okay. Let's go. Welcome back to yet another episode of Two Plant-Based Brothers. I am William the teacher, and this is my brother.
Daniel wanted beard on the trail, and the beard is looking mighty fine.
If you don't mind saying so yourself.
No, I
All
don't.
right. So first of all, as we break it in, we're mid-March.
Yep.
So we still got a little bit of ways to go with our Lent challenge. So once again,
Yes.
if that's something you're doing, please leave us a note. Let us know how's it going, what you've decided to do, whether add something to your routine or take something out of your routine. Hopefully you've taken us up on the challenge to go 100% plant-based, or maybe to go 95%
Mhm.
plant-based, or vegetarian,
25.
something 5%.
Yeah. One day this Lent you choose to go plant-based. That's pretty cool.
Or if you're one of those people who decided to do the complete opposite, right? Then tell us if how your carnivore diet's going.
Yeah. Meat every day.
Yeah, your RFK Junior diet. So
Too soon.
yeah, it's never too soon. So anyway, a few years ago, right, many years ago, actually, Daniel, I would always, not always, but often give up either meat or booze for Lent.
Yeah.
And your oldest brother, same my oldest brother as well,
Yes.
um, found this story about a monk or something, or some
Hmm.
guy who did the opposite of me. So he only drank beer for Lent, and he could survive. He survived off it because of the barley and wheat and everything.
I guess it
So
has water in it too, right? So
yeah,
you're hydrating, I guess. I don't know.
yeah. So I think he had like three stouts or something per day, and he lived off it. So
Wow.
yeah, I don't recommend that, but to
No.
each their own. Whatever you're doing,
Right.
that's great. So also just want to say really quickly that your buddy Freddie Freeman has let me down.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he opted out of the World Baseball Classic, and
Really?
Team Canada dropped one to Panama. I'm
Ah.
not going to give you any more updates because by the time this comes out, the whole thing will be over. So um,
Possibly.
we'll see. It's not looking too good for Team Canada, but
But
your
it
Team
is
United
looking,
States
yeah, it's
pretty
looking
good.
good for Team USA. I mean, I feel like for whatever reason, Brazil was closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they ended up blowing them out and looking good. Team Japan's still looking pretty strong. So I feel like they may
Uh,
be a rematch of the last World Baseball Classic.
yeah, I saw Shohei Ohtani have like five RBIs in one inning.
Yeah,
Um,
crazy. Crazy.
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It is. It
So
really is ridiculous. But
yeah,
before we go into the thing, I want to know, how are you doing on your Lent? You feeling, the week we're in now, you feeling still pretty strong about it?
yeah, I'm still feeling good.
Good.
I've definitely adjusted and adapted. So, still haven't had any of those chips, and no desserts. I haven't had any, the processed plant foods. The science
Mhm.
experiments, as I like
Yeah.
to call those delicious substitutes that we all lean
Right.
on when we first go plant-based. I think a lot of us do actually. We
Yeah.
lean on the Beyond Burgers and Beyond Sausages and Field Roast
Mhm.
sausages and all these different,
Yeah.
um, you know, uh, Morningstar brands
Yeah.
that are filled with a lot of different things that you don't know. So I'm not completely whole foods, but being very careful of any packaged products that I eat,
Mhm.
that what's in them um, are things that I can pronounce, and
Mhm.
no crazy attitudes,
Mhm.
additives.
Additives.
Clip it. No crazy attitudes on that food. All right. Live, folks. We do it live. Anyway, how about you? Tortillas? Still strong.
Still doing great. I haven't touched them. No chips, no bread of any kind of, prepackaged, store-bought bread of any kind. I recently traveled some bit. My wife and I were in New York for a couple days, and we were up in LA at one point, and then we are up at Legoland last week. So that was harder. It was just harder because I feel like I'm not really going to do that. Like you were saying, kind of staying away the Beyond Patty. Like a lot of the burgers, I might get like with the Beyond Burger, I just wouldn't do. So there wasn't a whole lot of choices at Legoland. So I got a noodle bowl, which actually was pretty good. Wasn't bad. And then when we were in New York, I was able to go to some good restaurants. It's more just like flights and traveling, like anything in bread is a very easy travel food of some
Hmm.
sort, right? And so that was kind of on the harder. I just had to figure it out. We get lounge access, so I kind of was able to navigate that a little bit, especially for breakfast. Oatmeal, super
Hmm.
easy. So
Yeah.
still doing well, but it wasn't necessarily easy when traveling.
So, well, this is a great segue is the oatmeal because
Yeah.
I've done deep dive into the budget and how much it costs to kind of live plant-based. So this is plant-based on a budget.
Yep.
And you guys out there, just something to know that when you do a whole foods plant-based diet, right? If it might not even be 100%, you are, believe it or not, um, doing it really a budget-friendly diet. I'm telling
Yeah.
you right now. Once you stay away from all that stuff that gets processed and packaged and stuff like that, you can really do it by sticking to fresh fruits, vegetables, and then grains. Make them yourself, right? And grains, legumes, these are very friendly on your budget. We've talked about it a little bit before in our shopping
Right.
episode and meal prep, but we're going to kind of break down a few different things here. So, Daniel, tell me, do you know how much it costs to make like a bowl of oatmeal?
I've never done the math on it, but I think when you get a price per serving, it's got to be pretty cheap, especially, and you were just telling me before we started recording, you have a coworker who buys those Quaker oatmeal packets, which I used to do, right? I grew up on it actually as a
That's
kid.
what we had in our home,
Right, we
right?
had it. And I would always do two packets at home. I would
Of
never do one
course.
because one was like so small.
Who's
Anyways, I
having one
do,
package?
yeah, I don't know. They do two packets, and then it has to be so much cheaper making it yourself than buying those packets because that packet is really just oats and then a couple of other ingredients, whether it's brown sugar or cinnamon, something like that.
Yeah, and I'd be very curious to see the different additives that get put in there
Right.
to keep it, I don't know, shelf stable or something. How long do those
Hmm.
packets last? You
Right.
know?
Forever, actually, until they get
I
hard.
mean, yeah, I don't have my oat receipt in front of me right now, but I mean, you're talking about $1.40 probably a pound.
Hmm.
And you do get a good yield. And so when I did the math of what I'm really put in my overnight oats, it's about uh it's a couple bucks maybe. So if I cut
Hmm.
out the berries, which I don't want to do, right? If I can cut out
Hmm.
the berries, which can be a little bit more expensive,
Right.
and use water instead of almond milk, just use those splash
Mhm.
of almond, right?
Yeah.
With the almond milk, really not that expensive. I get it at Costco. I
Right.
buy it in bulk, but it
Hmm.
comes out about $1 for breakfast, right? You
So cheap.
know, I mean, you can get bananas for pretty cheap. I mean, honestly, you know what I mean? The
Hmm.
oats themselves, I mean, you get about two-thirds a cup cost you about a quarter, right?
Hmm.
A scoop of peanut butter really doesn't cost you much more than a quarter. When you
Hmm.
buy chia seeds in bulk, a tablespoon of that costs you
Jeez.
about 10 cents,
Yeah.
honestly. Splash of almond milk costs you about 20 cents. You can do breakfast for $1.
Hmm.
Okay. So here's the homework, Daniel, for anyone
Hmm.
out there. Go out anywhere to any fast food restaurant, anywhere, and order breakfast. Go to Starbucks, see what they have. Tell me what you can find for $1.
Nothing. Nothing, especially nothing that's gonna fill you up for breakfast that gets
Yeah,
you
but
to
even
lunch.
what are you going to get for $1?
You can't, right? You can't get a glass of ice water.
You can't. At Starbucks, a glass of ice water is going to cost you $1.
Okay, there you go.
So I've seen this happen before. Okay, I'll tell you true story. Right, I'm walking down El Cajon Boulevard. It's the summertime, or it might not be because it's San Diego, and you never know. It could have been November and I'm just dripping in sweat. Right, and my my hydro flask, I realized I didn't have enough ice, and so
Mm,
everything's melted. So I just wanted a cup of ice,
yeah.
and so I went to Starbucks, and they told me can't do it. I said I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
They said, no, you got to buy something. I said,
Yeah.
well, I want to buy. went back and forth. It was a disaster. And then finally, it's just like I ordered a side of cream cheese, which was 95 cents, right?
Uh-huh. So you can get cream cheese for breakfast when you
Yeah.
compare that to a nice, delicious bowl of oatmeal.
Yeah. So the 95-cent little side of cream cheese, and I gave it to the cashier. I said, here, you can have it, add it onto your bagel or whatnot. I wasn't going to eat it. I
Yeah.
just wanted the cup of ice. So they hooked me up with this big cup of ice. I was able to put in my different containers and be on my
Mm.
way.
Yeah.
And then I saw this whole thing play out in San Francisco in November, where a guy just wanted a cup of water and they
Yeah.
wouldn't sell it to him. He said, listen, I have money. I want to pay for it. I said, brother, order a side of cream cheese and then they'll give you a cup of water with it.
Wow. Look at you helping somebody else out.
Yeah, in
I
a whole
love it.
different city. One
Yeah.
Starbucks is the same as the others. You got to buy something. Okay. But getting a nice bowl of oatmeal for $1, I mean, that's
Yeah.
the way to go.
It is, and I've gone on and off oatmeal for sometimes. I do like it in the winter. Summer not as much, but I've been on an oatmeal kick recently too. So it's been really good. And you can make it delicious by switching it up with the different spices you have. Pumpkin pie spice, right? You can do cinnamon, right? You can get fun with it and try the different berries or like you said, banana. I think it's a really good option.
Yeah. I think the one thing that would put me over it was when I add my protein powder. That stuff's
Hmm.
not cheap.
Yeah.
So, but if you factor in if I'm paying, 25 to $40 for this gigantic thing,
Hmm.
and I'm getting like 26 servings, and I use probably half a serving in each
Hmm.
one, it really doesn't cost that
50
much, but it
cents at
might
that point.
it
Yeah.
might take me up 50 cents. So
Yeah.
even then, let's just say I go full on with the berries and everything, you're still looking at about 250 or
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
But it can be done extremely budget friendly for $1. Get your oats in bulk, let them soak overnight, eat them in the morning, or if you have time to make the hot water and pour it
Hmm.
over,
Yeah.
do it. So,
And when you set out to do this, did you have a goal in mind for total budget for the day?
I was looking for $5 a day.
Under five. All right.
I
Five
was
or
looking
nine.
to see. So basically, what I found, and this is with my good friend ChatGPT, right? Deep dive into what I pay, what I
Hmm.
buy, and I was very curious to know like how much does a cup
Right.
weigh, so I know
Yeah.
how much I paid for
Right.
it. But what we did, we just kind of settled in on average California prices, which
Hmm.
it could go up and down depending on where you're buying it. It could depend on me where I'm buying it across the street or not, right? I
Hmm.
have two different grocers and one's a little bit cheaper than the others, but still very budget friendly when we're talking about these
Yeah.
things. So let's dive into your basic lunch, right? So if you go with like quinoa, carrots, onions, bell peppers,
Hmm.
jalapenos, and a few different things, you're looking at like $1.60, right?
Wow.
Now, what you could do is if you went brown rice, according to my friend, it would cut down the cost a little bit. Quinoa's a little bit more expensive.
Really, quinoa is more expensive per whatever ounce than
Yeah, I don't eat
rice.
rice usually. I don't buy it, so
Hmm.
I don't know. And actually, I sought it out this weekend, and they have all these bulk bins, right, where you can get a scoop of this, a scoop of
Yep.
that, and take how much you want. And I couldn't find brown rice at this grocer, so I went back with my old favorite. It's about $3.99 organic quinoa a pound,
Wow.
right? And you get a good couple pounds, and that's going to last you a long time,
Yeah,
you know.
it does.
And so I'll tell you. Let me see if I have it right here. Man, that too long took too long for me to look. But anyway, you could do rice, you can do some other grains, and it's not expensive. And you buy it, and then you cook it yourself. Well,
Hmm.
guess what happens to that? What use 2/3 of a cup? That becomes a cup and a half. I don't know,
Right,
but it
because
grows.
it gets bigger, right? Absolutely. It expands.
It expands, and so if you cook something, and what I normally cook is um is 1 cup of quinoa.
Hmm.
And what that gives me quinoa for 4 lunches,
Okay.
right? So that I don't measure that out because I mix in the vegetables and things like that. But uh, you can do this really cheaply. And I'm not
Mhm.
saying like my everyday lunch is going to be $2, but there's a way to get it down to $2,
Yeah.
you know? And this is $1.60 for what I read off right here, you
Wow.
know? So not bad, not a bad deal. I would say that I'm probably looking at about $4 or $5, based on what the initial input was. I was averaging probably about $8 a day. So in order to get it down to five, I just had to cut out a few things,
Okay.
right?
Right.
That are a little bit more on the pricey end, but still not too pricey,
Right.
right?
No, not at
So
all.
what
And
do you
we're
think is
two meals
standard?
in. We're 2 meals in, right?
Yeah, we're two
Yeah.
meals in and we're about $2.65 right now.
Huh. No, that's great.
So what are you looking for lunch on a? I mean, I know you don't meal prep, so you mix it up. But now that you're off of the wrap, I'm very curious what you're eating for lunch because we've talked about this before, and you eat everything in a tortilla.
I love everything in a tortilla. I don't necessarily eat everything in a tortilla. I haven't priced it out, but a lot of things I love eating is curry and curry over rice, and it could be over quinoa too. I've done it over quinoa as well, so it's still going to be pretty darn cheap. Now, I know we're going to get into probably some of the other things of like beans and dry versus canned because there's a lot of savings there. So I'll kind of tee you up for that because I'll tend to use the canned stuff which is
Mm.
still fairly inexpensive. And because I'm
Oh
mixing
yeah.
it into a curry, I don't really have much of the taste necessarily. But yes, just yesterday, I'll sum it up here. What I made for lunch was we had some leftover rice from an Indian restaurant that we had while we were traveling. And I made some chickpeas, some garbanzo beans. I threw 2 cans, in a skillet, spiced it, nice little spice blend, and I just did garbanzo beans over rice. It was so good and very inexpensive.
Yeah, I mean, let's just talk about it. If you can get a can of beans for $1.50,
Yeah.
right? That's $3, and then you throw in some rice, probably 50 cents to a dollar,
And it's
depending on where
probably
you.
four or five
Yeah,
meals, right?
yeah,
Just right there, because I did 2 cans of it. It was
yeah. I mean, you
pretty
can
good.
you can definitely do it. I mean, the truth is, I'm just checking um my math right now. I'm not checking my math, but I was checking my receipt and I lost it again. But it was like $3.91 or something you know, for the quinoa,
Okay.
right? $3.91. And that was, I think I got a good deal there. Shoot. I think they undercharged me at
Oh,
$3.91. Yeah.
and that
And
was
I
for
got a
two
big bag.
pounds?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I
For
remember you saying it was
1.67
$3.99.
pounds. Yeah. They said 3.99 a pound, but it says 1.67 pounds for 3.91.
Maybe they had a
Yeah.
manager special that day.
Oh, I think I got away with murder. Okay. Don't tell anyone, guys.
What's the name of the
I'm reading
store?
this wrong. Anyway, that quinoa is going to last me for a month.
Yeah.
I mean, $3.91 is going to last me for a month.
Wow.
Okay. It's pretty amazing. So now my basic dinner is sweet potatoes and beans, right?
Hmm.
Make my beans from scratch. I got a
Hmm.
humongous bag of garbanzo beans for $3.05, right? You can get these for like $1.40, $1.50, $1.60,
Hmm.
something like that. Usually black beans, garbanzo beans, pretty cheap, right? Throw in sweet potatoes. I usually buy them at Costco. I get a good deal, but they're not too expensive.
No.
Um, Now, you want to take it up a notch, throw in some cabbage, some onions, some garlic, some
Mhm.
peppers, and even get in your nutritional yeast, which I like to throw into my lunches, honestly,
Mhm.
which is a little pricey. Even with that, I'm talking about a dinner for $2.05.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
know, we're
Blowing my
looking at
mind.
this. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a really good total there.
Yeah.
And then the only other factor that you really have to get into is the raw Wednesdays cost me a little bit more.
Hmm.
And because I didn't want to give up my cashews for my cashew dressing
Mm.
and for one avocado, you know. So if you're looking at this, I was looking at my total. If I had this every day, which I don't because Wednesday's a little bit different.
Hmm.
It takes it up a little bit. You're looking at my average Wednesday being around $4 for a big salad night,
Hmm.
and I'm talking huge. And most
Huge.
of that cost comes from the cashews and the avocado,
Hmm.
costs more than almost anything. But a dinner with just beans, sweet potato, and throw in some greens or something, some seasoning, you're looking at $2.
Yeah, that's great. So affordable, especially nowadays when whether it's eating out is extremely expensive. You counterbalance that so when you eat out, your wallet doesn't get hit so much. You can do that in between. Or if you're feeling the crunch out there, right, of just everything else being expensive too, being able to save some money and still get your nutrition, still get good flavor. I think you really have a nailed budget friendly meal planning.
Yeah, I really think so. And there's a lot more that you really take into consideration, because that's what I never really think about is I go to the grocery store, I usually spend about $20, right?
Hmm.
For everything I need for the week, not including what's in the pantry.
Hmm.
And so when I went this week, it cost me a little bit more because I got
Hmm.
those pantry items. I also got a big old bag of lentils that are going to last me a month. I got a humongous bag of almonds. This was a big purchase here.
Yeah.
Look at this bad boy.
Oh yeah.
Let's
Pretty
see, look at
decent
that.
size. Yeah.
But the other day almonds were like 6.40 or 6.99 a pound.
Hmm.
Forget that, man. I got them for 3.99 a pound. And
Wow. That is
guess
good.
guess how much they cost,
How
Daniel?
much?
$6.66.
Wow. That's
Yeah, 6.66. No, don't look into that during
don't
lunch.
touch
Yeah.
them. Don't touch them.
No, but I actually gave the bag I showed you, I already gave two-thirds of this away to my coworker, yeah,
Oh, so
right?
you basically cursed them. That was nice of you.
No, it's just sharing. I mean, it's just like I got a great deal. I'm going to share it. And he's like, "How much do I owe you?" I says, "It's like $2. You don't owe me
Yeah.
anything, right?"
Yeah.
And that's the way to go. I got an eggplant this week for 79 cents. That's
Mhm.
going to last probably two meals I can get out
Right.
of that.
Yep.
And there's just a few different things to have in your pantry.
Hmm.
And then you can mix in whatever deals you get
Right. Right.
with the vegetables and what's looking good,
Hmm.
right?
Have
Um,
you priced anything out with like tempeh or tofu or anything like that?
No, the tofu has not been added, but I know that my tofu costs about $1.50 a block.
Right.
And one block a week, you can do the math. That is not expensive adding that
No.
to it.
Mm-mm.
Tempeh is a little bit more expensive,
Right.
I think,
Yeah.
when I've seen it. So, um, in your pantry, like, I mean, you talk about spices, and I think this is a
Mhm.
really important thing to have in your pantry. It
Yeah.
hurts a little bit on the budget when you buy something big, that's going to last you for months at a
Right.
time, that initial thing. But what kind of spices do you always have in your pantry?
Yeah, and I got a long list actually of always have it. And the good savings way of doing it too is going to a store, Sprouts is one of them, where you can bag your own spices and
Mm,
just paying for the weight of it is an easier way to save than buying those glass bottles every time.
yeah,
Mexican markets too, I think have pretty cheap spices too out of bags versus
yeah.
out of the jars and stuff. But for me, a lot of go-tos. Salt, pepper, obviously. Cumin is huge. Smoked paprika. I
Hmm.
absolutely love garlic and onion powder. I use on most everything. And some other ones that come top of mind, coriander, turmeric, chili powder. Though I use that lightly just with my sensitivity to spice still.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to think of any curry powder would be kind of one of the curry powder and garam masala are two of the Indian spices that I really, really like to use a lot of.
Yeah. Garam masala is something I don't have. I haven't used. But
Mhm.
everything else that you mentioned, they're all staples.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you get those spices, and then you can kind of bulk up on your grains and legumes. So, for example, I mean, you don't buy beans to cook; you buy beans in a can. So,
Yeah, mostly cans except for lentils. I do buy dry lentils and of course quinoa rice, all the other ones. But yeah, beans are the ones that we still have in the can.
if I go into your pantry right now, I'm probably going to find some kind of rice or some
Yeah.
lentils,
Yeah, we have
some
two different
beans.
types of rice. We have white and brown. I think our white is basmati rice. And then we do have quinoa. We have a little bit of couscous left, so I do need to purchase that.
Hmm.
And then black beans and garbanzo beans are our two beans of choice. And then the only other kind of canned thing we have is like crushed tomatoes. So if we're making like some sort of sauce in it, and then coconut milk
The coconut milk, yeah.
is kind of the other canned food. And we do have some dried beans. I just haven't got that. Was it pressure cooker? You don't have a pressure cooker. It's the other thing. What do you have?
It's a pressure cooker.
What is it called? Something else, though, isn't it?
Instant Pot.
Instant pot, but it's pressure cooker. I don't have an instant
Yeah.
pot. So when I get one, maybe I'll get one for Christmas or hopefully sooner, is I will start cooking my own dried beans.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's great. But the lesson here, guys, the long story short, right, is that there are so many things that it's so budget friendly to keep in your pantry. These basic things, and I just want to point
Mhm.
out a few key vegetables that I think are really you get more bang for the buck. I think sweet potatoes are a great
Yep.
one, lots of packed with nutrition. Cabbage, depending on how much it is, you be careful with the when it says per pound, and you get a really heavy thing. But
Yeah.
cabbage, you get a lot for a head of cabbage,
Right.
man. I saute half of it up and I keep half of it for Wednesdays.
Hmm.
Carrots are really, really
Really good,
convenient
cheap. Yeah.
and packed with the things you need. Lots of nutrients in
Hmm.
carrots, and you can eat them raw. You can roast them. These are some really good vegetables to keep in mind that last a little bit too.
Hmm.
You buy a big bag of sweet potatoes, they're going to last you a little bit in your pantry,
Yeah.
and then in your fridge, a head of cabbage will be fine for a little bit. Carrots, really good shelf life, my
They
opinion.
do. Yeah.
Good things to have, and then also freezing things is a good way to main thing. So if you can buy something in large quantity, you can go ahead and cut that up and keep it in your freezer
Hmm.
for later. So
Yeah.
a few tips. So go ahead, do this. I'm asking everyone out there to go ahead, take a look at what you're spending per week, divide it by meal, and see if you can get it down to $5 a day.
That'd be fun.
Because if you're going out, you're not making it. I'm going to tell you
No,
right now,
no
you
way.
know. So you can do that occasionally, but even if you look at it just the weeknights, right? The weekdays, right?
Hmm.
Can you get your meals down? And I guarantee when you go out to buy that one big piece of carne asada, you're not going to afford anything else.
Yeah.
That's going to do it. So that's it. So
Love it.
any other tips or advice before we go, Daniel?
No, I think super helpful, and I think it's a fun little challenge. See how people can get some savings out there.
Yeah. And don't forget, even if you don't even do this, when you go Whole Foods plant-based, you're going to see a difference in your wallet. I guarantee it. All right.
All right. Peace.